Here's the part that I have an issue with. Y'all kept saying we a lot. What we need to do and what us need to do and what we need to do and what us need to do. And I think that that's the issue that people are having with you, Dr. Julio, is that you're ascribing the behavior of a small percentage of a degenerate amount to the entire blanket of men. And I get it, because you're saying, when you were speaking, you were saying men that sleeping with and reproducing with. One, those are mutually exclusive. Men do want it, recreational use, they're going to hit. The reproducing part is different. The ones that hit that don't want kids, make sure that they do wrap it up. The ones that hit and don't give a damn, they don't wrap it up. But those two guys look alike. You mentioned the high value thing. And I know you talked about the disparity on marriage, but that was a different argument. And we don't have to talk about that because it was really only 1 out of 4 women that get married. The problem, gentlemen, is that, and Julio, you're my guy, but it's you sound when you make the argument that I hear from a lot of women, these niggas out here. And it ain't these niggas, it's those niggas. And it's when you guys are out here saying what we need to do, we are doing it. We need to stop saying we, even though we may be the same complexion, we may rock the same hoodies, we like the same jewelry, we may listen to the same music. We ain't the same. They not like us. And so when you guys talk about these guys who are out here making multiple baby mamas, the same dude got like my man mentioned, we had the guy on here that had 18 kids with 16 women, I think it was, or something like that. So maybe 18 kids with 14 women. Mm-hmm. We have to be able to discern, or separate ourselves from those guys. Now we talk about that with women. We say, damn, how can we tell the good women from the bad women when they all look alike? They all wear the same weaves. They all like them same swirly with them baby hair. They all like the same swirly baby hairs.
Yeah.
They all get the same claw nails. They all get the same clothes from Fashion Nova. They all shop at Shein. They wear the same damn dresses. They wear the same shoes. They like the same music. They all and they go to the same clubs. But some of them are good and some are bad, and it's hard. And oftentimes, after you done had sex, it's too late to realize that she a luck of the draw, or like throwing craps. Well, it's the same with men, especially when you got those degenerates that are good liars. Them dudes know how to tell some pretty little lies. They know how to tell some beautiful lies. So one, Law, Viz, we got to stop saying we. You got to start saying them, because they not like you, Law. They not like you, Viz, at all. And Julio, you got to stop saying we, because your whole point, I get what you say. I watched your video, but you're ascribing that to all of us. And I think that's the problem that a lot of guys are having.
The reason that I do that, Shannon, and you've known me for years, so you know why I do that. My question boils down to who is overall responsible for the community? Who's overall responsible? What gender is overall responsible? What gender you think carries more weight for the role of leadership in the community?
Well, traditionally it's men.
Traditionally, you know what it is, Shannon. You ain't got to caveat it. It's men. You know that.
But I believe in the gynocracy. But go ahead. But I see
you believe in the gynocracy, but the world operates according to what? A patriarchal system.
It's a patriarchal society. So I'm gonna go with you. I'm gonna say it's our response. It's on our shoulders.
So when you have and understand, it is degenerate behavior, but degenerate behavior has even found itself snaking its way into the walls and the minds of supposedly high value individuals. So that's why I go ahead and just say we, because we as a collective see this type of behavior, but I feel that we as a collective have not done enough to mitigate and destroy that behavior from the inside out, because it starts with us. If we are overall responsible for the direction of a community, which men are, it's been that way since God put us on the planet. We bear more responsibility. That's why I'm not afraid to say we. I'm not afraid to say we, because there was a point in my life where I was just as much a part of the problem as I am now trying to be a part of the solution. So when you look at the way that we move in this world, it is a we thing. We live in a patriarchy where, because of a system that, let's be honest, predominantly does benefit us, A lot of times we're allowed to excuse ourselves from accountability for our actions, where we can even sit around and have conversations like single mothers being for recreational use to begin with. There are a lot of double standards that we enjoy as men, and all I'm saying is, as a part of the privilege of manhood, there's some pros and some concerns, not necessarily cons, in the purely negative sense, but there's some concerns to that. One of the concerns is we have to be more responsible for the direction of the community and the direction
Again,
of the familial unit than our women. So it's not that I'm sounding like a woman, I'm just sounding like a man that
mm,
understands the
mm,
role that we possess in society.
mm,
So
But you are
I
Julio,
think
incorrect. You
so.
can't.
So
You can't.
hold
Real
on,
quick,
Kenny. Let
Law.
me jump in 1 second. Look.
okay,
Let me give me one
let me
second, bro. Just one
let me
second. Look,
respond to, let me
my
throw it
issue
back
with
to you,
that
Allah.
is
Allah, let me
when
throw it
we
back to you.
talking, we always talking about we want to speak to the majority, right? If we're gonna speak to the majority of men, the majority of men are not in that percentile that's getting pussy. Plain and simple. So we can't say we. You know what I'm saying? The vast majority are being left off to the side. So we can't
You
keep
got it.
saying
You
we.
got
We
it.
need to look at who's accepting that top 35 percentile and what are they going to do differently. Plain and simple. That's what the issue is. If we're going to talk to the majority means we, but that's not what we're doing. We're talking about the small percentile that
Go ahead, Shan.
Oh man, my man Law froze up. I was gonna interrupt him, but he sounded like he was coming the same way I was coming. You know, shit. Am I still here?
Yeah, you good.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right.
everybody
Dr.
back.
Julio,
My
hold
bad.
on.
I don't know what happened. I thought I lost. I thought I got man. I thought I got them. Got cut off. But
No,
like I
you
said,
don't.
everybody isn't one of these leaders. The majority isn't running. You know what's going on. So we can't keep saying the we's like. So that's all I got,
No,
man.
no, that's a perfect point, and that's my point. And I understand what Dr. Julio was saying before we lost him, because he's basically saying, you know what, I'm saying we because we the men. I get it. I get his point, and I get your point because I'm with you, Law. Uh, who is we? Because I ain't with them niggas. I ain't had that. I didn't have my son until I got married at 42. All the women I did knock down, I made sure I wrapped it up for 40 plus years before I decided to have a child. My child was intentional. But Julio, here's the thing. Oh, he's back. The accountability that you want us to have as a collective, I believe is the word you use, as a community, that
Yes.
we can't use the shotgun no more. See, back in the day, we was able to put, if a man got a woman knocked up, pops pull up with a shotgun. It was like, what you doing? You gonna marry you gonna make
Yep.
my daughter.
Yep.
Uh-huh.
Wasn't no chop shop to run
Yeah,
to. You know what I'm saying? When
there were certain laws that hadn't been invented yet that allowed us to be able to put a little pressure on the people that wanted to have quote unquote recreational sex. But with all this freedom now that women have benefited from, I guess you said that we benefit too, but they benefit from this freedom as well. What can we do? I can't go beat Pookie's ass like Pookie got his ass beat in the 70s and the 80s.
Mhm.
Today,
knowing she's still gonna fuck him.
the accountability that we'd like to have, for me, is a corporal punishment type accountability. That's the only thing that kind of works. All we can do now is what? Talk shit, shame motherfuckers, and separate ourselves, not hang out with them, not kick it with them. But if it's enough of them, they'll coalesce around each other and party together. They don't even care about what we think. So while I hear you, Dr. Julio, when you say, man, but we the men, and we are supposed to do something about this. And so I'm putting it on even the guys that ain't even responsible for all these kids. I'm putting it on them too, because we the men. Got it. I can't whoop his ass no more, Julio. When you had your kid years ago, because you were part of the problem, now you're making part of the solution. But years ago, when you did have your child, I couldn't go beat your ass or force you to marry that woman that you had a child with. You'd have looked at me crazy or called the police. So what is the solution? Since you're looking for a solution, we can't just talk about it. And since we can't whoop somebody's ass outside of, outside of prison justice, all we can do is somehow separate ourselves. And that's why we have these discussions. That's why we have these stats, to simply say, hey, man, I know I like the same music you like. I like to drive the same cars. I like going to, I like, you know, I even like to hang out at some of the same locations, but I'm not like him. And for the women that like him, we're trying to show you ladies the difference between us and him. We're showing you how we talk and how we move and how we think. We're showing you what we like in terms of your physicality, you know, tattoos on your chest. I just put a post up there. Ladies, stop wearing these chest tattoos and the weaves and the BBLs. We're showing you we don't like the things that we don't like versus the things that he like. So if you want a guy like me, if you want the quote unquote high value guy like me, listen to what I'm telling you. Unfortunately, Dr. Julio, a lot of these women is hearing that, but it's in one ear and out the other because they're still running back to the dude that got 4 baby mamas already.
But that goes.
I think it's
60%
I think
that's
it's
in
worth
jail,
noting
right?
that. I think it's worth
Right,
noting that
60% in jail.
Yeah, I think it's worth noting that prior to this conversation and your video, we admonished men having kids that they did not take care of or multiple extra baby mamas when we were saying that friends we know that's not doing right within their household, we distance ourselves from, and we would be against. So we are in line with you and your point about living in accordance with the Bible or just a moral code of authority. We all agree with. I think we just took exception to the pathologizing to make it seem as though black men were having multiple kids just at random and we did not care.